viewers, you're welcome to your darling station, the Living Television. Today is another day of your favorite program, Issues of the Moment. Issues of the Moment is a current affairs program of the Living TV. Today, we'll be looking at the issuance of new Naira banknotes, according to the governor of the CBN. And outside that, we will also be looking at the United Kingdom's warning to its nationals to desist from traveling to the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, here in Nigeria. Today, I have our discussants. From my far left, I have Comrade Nnamdi Lekwachi. Comrade, welcome to the program.
Good morning to you, Comrade. Thank you for having me on this occasion today.
Comrade Nnamdi Lekwachi is a public affairs analyst and also political affairs analyst. After him, we have Dr. Stanley Dago. Dr. Stanley Dago is a media person and also public affairs analyst. Doc, you're welcome to the program.
Good morning, distinguished viewers, and Mr. Moderator, good morning to you too.
All right. As we kick off today, what we have here is the issuance of a new Naira note, and according to the central bank governor, Mr. Godwin Emefiele, he said one of the major challenges is it includes the significant hoarding of the banknotes. According to him, he said in recent years, the CBN has recorded significantly higher rates of counterfeiting, especially at the higher denominations of 500, 1,000 banknotes. Although global best practice is for central bank to redesign, produce, and circulate new legal tender every 5 to 8 years, the Naira has not been redesigned in the last 20 years. On the basis of these trends, problem and facts, and in line with Section 19, subsection A and B of the CBN Act 2007, the management of the CBN sought and obtained the approval of President Muhammadu Buhari to redesign, produce, and circulate new series of banknotes at 100 Naira, 200 Naira, 500 Naira, and 1,000 Naira levels. In line with this approval, we have finalized arrangement for the new currency to begin circulation from December 15, 2022. The new and existing currency shall remain legal tender and circulate together until January 31st, 2023, when the existing currency shall cease to be legal tender. Accordingly, all deposit money banks currently holding the existing denomination of the currency may begin returning these notes back to the CBN effectively immediately. Let me start with you, Dr. Stanley Dago. According to the governor of Central Bank, he said that to redesign the Naira, it's supposed to be within 5 to 8 years, and this is about 20 years. Now, in redesigning this Naira, is it going to help the economy of this country in any way, irrespective of the mentioned problems that in the country, ranging from hoarding and counterfeiting?
On Wednesday, we woke up to the information that the central bank is planning to redesign some denominations of Naira notes, higher denominations. And the reasons given by Godwin Emefiele, to me, don't seem genuine to me. Well, it is important to note that according to him, Naira notes should be redesigned between 5 and 8 years. And according to him, in the past 20 years, we have not done that. But my question is, what does the central bank intend to achieve with this? Listening to Emefiele or some of the releases made by them, they said, one, it will help to curb inflation. Over 85% of the currency in circulation is outside the banks in the hands of the people. 3, that it will also help to fight this issue of payment of ransom and some other reasons given by Emefiele. But the question is, in what way will this help our economy? That is the issue. Will this help the economy that has taken a nosedive to resurrect? Or would it inflict more damage or more difficulty on the people who are already impoverished? Take note of the fact that we are close to the Christmas and that Nigeria is cashing on every opportunity to inflict more pains on others. Is this the right time to do it? What is best for Nigeria at this moment? Is it the redenomination or what I would call a re-evaluation? What's what Ghana did the other time? Redenomination, redesign or redenomination. Which one is best or better for Nigeria at this critical time? I do not know how far this will go in bringing down inflation. Price is now close to 50,000 naira. How will this redesign help to bring it down? Dollar is close to 800 naira per dollar. How will this redesign bring down the price of dollar? How will this redesign bring out the money people are hoarding? I think this is what he wants to achieve. Yeah. That over 2.7 trillion naira is in the hands of people. That we are told that politicians now use their water tanks to hoard money, use their soak-away bills to hoard money, and that by so doing, they will bring out this particular money. Well, don't forget the fact that they are smart people. We are dealing with smart people. If I am one of those who have money, worths of money in my water tanks, what I will do is to use it to go and buy dollar immediately. By the time we finish redesigning, I will still go and reacquire it. That is what I'm going to do. So what I do not think is that this is the best for Nigeria at the moment and how this is going to help the economy of Nigeria. Now, what are you going to say about the unbanked people? My mother in the village, yes. How is she going to exchange her own money? How is the woman at her home that said that has no bank account going to cope with this particular thing? I think the central bank should go back and find the best thing to do to redeem our economy other than this policy. And unfortunately, there's nothing we say that will change the policy. It's a policy they have initiated. And don't also forget the cost of doing this. It will run into billions of naira. Well, the cost of this program, we are going to analyze that. But my submission is that I don't think that redesigning Naira notes is the best thing for Nigeria at the moment. I don't think that this policy is going to redeem the economy of Nigeria that has been so battered in the past 8 years.
All right, comrade, yeah. You heard about redesigning of our currency. And then the question that went to Doug is, how is it going to help our economy? Now, looking at what Emefiele looked at, he talked about the hoarding of the currency and counterfeiting. And we have had so many stories about our politicians hoarding this Naira. And thinking that they had checked, because they will always know how much that is released and how much is supposed to be in the hands of the people. And I think this is what brought about this. Yeah. What is your take on this at this time?
Yes, I think redesigning of currencies is one of the duties of the central bank. Even in America, they have the board and the reserve, the Department of Treasury, and then the Federal Reserve Board, which are actually in charge of things like this. Even we talk about circulation of money, how you meet and how you design currencies and then begin to circulate through financial institutions. It is one of the duties of the CBN. But one ugly thing about our system here is that we do not have such provisions embedded in our laws. Whether you're talking about the CBN Act or other monetary laws governing our financial service sectors, we do not have periodic time frame within which we review or we redesign our currency. And for that reason, you see, our money seems to be losing one of the features of currency or banknotes, which is acceptability. Sometimes if you are issued or if you are given a change of 100 naira, you always make trouble, either from the operator, that's the tricyclist, or from other person. You say, no, this money is not good, change it for me. It shouldn't be like that. If we are actually disciplined, if we have embedded financial discipline in our system. So what the CBN actually came up with was right, but where the problem is the timing. The timing is very, very, to me, I don't know how sustainable or how realizable that is. Given also the number of days they allow this to happen. And I'll give you an example. See, in Britain, sometime in March, they were changing some of the denominations, I think £10 and £20 to polymer. And they gave 6 months, we just ended September 30th, just last month. But in Nigeria here, we're talking about from 15th of December, when this money will begin to circulate, to 31st of
45 days.
That's 46-day period, yeah. And then again, you need to talk about the fact that this thing, I think another source claimed it will begin from yesterday or so. But however you look at it, you see that this is monetary policy. And part of the roles of the CBN is to create monetary policy that helps to bring about financial stability or financial stabilization. And that will also bring us to the question of whether this addresses inflation or not. I think it will serve us better to first understand the meaning of inflation. Inflation simply means when you have too much money chasing fewer goods, during which time prices of commodities skyrocket. And is there inflation in Nigeria? Yes, there is inflation in Nigeria. 30% inflation is here with us. And in fact, in an unheard of scale, the worst probably since 1985 or so. I want to say this, you see, the issue of hoarding money is not only synonymous with the politicians. There are private business owners who own businesses, who own shops, where they keep their money. They don't even go to the banks to bank or to save this money. Just because of maybe interest, which is about 7% a year about. We now see that many businesses, people have vaults inside their shops, inside their warehouses. They even have safes. Some even have piggy banks where they keep these monies in order to do or to keep them, so that whenever they need them, they go there to draw them. But the challenge there is that this has also created inflation. When you look at this practice, you see that it has created and sustained inflation. Where you have money not circulating, money should be circulating, not being static, not being conserved, not being at the hands of few persons. So when you have money not circulating as it should be, it becomes a serious problem, and that is what we are facing. Now, the CBN says 80% of the money it has released out of its vaults is in private hands, not even in the banks, not even with the deposit money banks. You understand? Not with the deposit money bank, but in the hands of the so it should give us concern. But where I have problems, like Doc said here, the question of rural dwellers, those who do not have BVN, bank verification number. And you know the requirements of BVN these days. You must go to your village, get a certificate of local government of origin, you go to MTM, you do this, you do that. And within this short time frame, we are expecting people to do all of that, because we should have factored in the unbanked population, which I believe should be higher than the banked population in Nigeria. You understand? Because there are people in the rural area who don't have any business with the bank. There are people who even fear to enter the bank. There are people who believe if they put their money there, the interest, the charge, and whatever have you, will make them to be in the losing side. So, for these reasons, people prefer in the rural areas to keep them. So, how are we going to cater or take care of these ones in this policy execution? It's something we should be thinking about. Then again, I think, like I said, in America, they have the way they do these things. There is no place, even if you look at the Eurozone, where you have about 16 or so countries using the euro. When you look at that, Eurozone, you will see that hardly does a banknote or a currency stay over 8 years in circulation without being redesigned. So I think it boils down to one thing. We should begin to have the conversation that brings about legislative instruments that regulates the time frame for Naira to stay in circulation. And then again, I should think that if you are even desirous of at least if you say redesigning, mind you, we still remain. If you say redesigning, we still remain. So I wouldn't know, but then I should think this should not come with a greater cost to be borne by the taxpayers of this country at a time like this. But all I can say to me, it is not bad, but then the timing, given that we are also facing election and everything, it's a critical one. Thank you.
All right, I think we will be going on a very short break. We'll be back in a jiffy. Keep watching Living TV.
Yes, I want to know which way Nigeria is heading to. Which way Nigeria? Which way Nigeria? Which way to go? Which way to go? I love my fatherland. Oh yeah. I want to know. I want to know which way Nigeria is heading to. Many years after independence, we still find it hard to start. How long shall we be patient before we reach the promised land? Let's save Nigeria so Nigeria won't die. Which way Nigeria? Which way? Which way Nigeria? Tell me which way to go. I love my fatherland. Oh yeah. I want to know. Yes, I want to know. Which way Nigeria is heading to. Every little thing that goes wrong, we start to blame the government.
All right, viewers, welcome back. We are still on issues of the moment. Today we are discussing the issuance of a new Naira banknotes, as announced by the governor of Central Bank, Godwin Emefiele. Then we are looking at the pros and cons of this. Is it timely? Is it proper at this time? And from what Emefiele said, it has lasted it's supposed to be redesigned every 5 to 8 years. But this is about 20 years. And so many Nigerians are asking, why now? All right, discussants, if you look at this, the governor of the central bank said that newly designed currency will be released to banks in order of first come, first serve basis. And customers of banks are enjoined to begin paying into their bank accounts the existing currency to enable them withdraw the new banknotes once circulation begins in the mid of December. We're talking about this December 2022. Doc, do you think Emefiele, irrespective of discharging his professional duty as a governor of the central bank, do you think he considered enough the public and the merits and demerits of this timing?
I believe that there is something something else that Emefiele wants to achieve, or the federal government of Nigeria wants to achieve, which we do not know, which, because of its sensitive nature, they may not want to let people know. Like Comrade said that one country, I think the UK, that they gave about 6 months for this to be done, but here we have between 45 and 46 days, which to me is too short a time for us to achieve this. I entered 2 banks before coming to find out what was happening, and there is this kind of apprehension in the minds of the workers that there's going to be an upsurge of customers that will come at the same time to deposit and will want to withdraw. So now, if they say deposit and withdraw fresh ones, am I depositing that day and collecting fresh currencies that particular day? That is a question no one has answered. 2, what happens to the unbanked public? We have millions of people in the rural areas who have no access to banks. For instance, in United States, there is no bank in the whole of Obimba local government area, the second to the largest local government in the entire state.
That's why you mentioned your bank.
Yes. So there is no bank in Isialangba North, where I come from. In the entire Isialangba North, there is no bank. In fact, in the whole of Isialangba, there is only one bank there in 2 local government areas. What happens to these people? There are thousands of people that have currencies there. What happens to them? If you go to the north, there are people in the core north that have never seen anything called a bank before. I can guarantee that. What happens to them? What happens to the man there, the shoeman there, the cobbler, who he makes his money on a daily basis? The little he has, what does he do with it? So these are factors Emefiele should have considered. The timing is wrong and the duration is also wrong. For instance, they also say that they want to fight counterfeiting. Well, I love that. And he has also said that it will help to fight the issue of paying ransom. I have not understood how that will correct the issue of payment of ransom. I therefore ask that unless there is something else they want to achieve which we do not know, and maybe the only way they can achieve it is by having a very short duration in order to achieve this. Somebody has told us that this is a way of catching those who have been hiding their money in tunnels in different places other than the banks, and that it will help to fight the issue of money politicking. These politicians now have stashed billions of naira in their respective rooms, which they will use in vote buying, and by so doing, that they won't have anything or a way of trying to dole out this money to people, unless that is the case. But if it is to help in these other areas Emefiele has mentioned, the timing is wrong, the duration is also wrong, because there are people who are going to be mostly affected in this particular policy.
All right, comrade, looking at the Emefiele statement, it was just a direct order from Mr. President. The National Assembly were not consulted. Considering their functions are both oversight functions and legitimate functions, don't you think they were supposed to be aware of this? Because these are people who are representing people from all walks of life in the National Assembly there.
I think the only time the National Assembly may have to come in is when the constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is being endangered or being undermined by this very act. This is the responsibility of CBN. Why mind you, CBN is in charge of monetary policies, not fiscal policies. The federal government through the Ministry of Finance, the Department of Debt Office and the rest of them, even the Office of the Accountant General controls what you call fiscal policy. We have to do with budget, micro and macro economic policies, but this is monetary policy that has to do with circulation of currency. That's the power of the CBN. It is in the CBN Act, you understand. I do not see much violation unless to the extent, you understand, it hampers or undermines the constitution. Again, the National Assembly may then giving what the urgency of this and then the short period of time or duration of the whole exercise. That's where National Assembly may call the CBN to order saying please extend this or that. I think that's what we may be likely seeing. But I have said before, this is the work of the CBN. Like I did say, in the United States of America, $1 a bill, as in $1 bill, has a lifespan of 5 years and 6 months or so. It keeps progressing till you come to the $100, which lasts about 10 to 15 years. You understand? Given the nature of the making or the moving of the money to withstand wear and tear. In Nigeria, we don't have a legal framework saying currency should not stay longer than this period or this duration. For which we keep misusing our currencies to the extent that they lose what we call acceptability, which is feature of what currency or a liquid tender. But that said again, I think where we have problem is the bank and non-bank population. And again, the congestion we are likely to see in places of in places that they discharge financial service, like the POS, like the Bureau de Change, like the banks and others. So that is where we are having problem. And again, I'm not too happy with the way some media outlets actually carry the reports. Especially, I'm particular about Vanguard. Vanguard said old currencies, but we don't have old currencies yet. What we have is present currency, and nobody has seen the design. Nobody has seen the, and then again, nobody has seen what this money looks like.
And then
I think
it is
also
referred to it as old currency.
Yes. So I think Emefiele, we know that the monetary policy he has been pursuing vigorously has been cashless policy, for which we have seen the Naira, the e-Naira, and the wallet and the rest of them being flown. Even the president is expected to launch soon. But to me, I do not think it should be done at a time, at a excruciating moment, or make Nigerians actually rush to the bank. Like Doc said, there is now apprehension everywhere. It's there in the air. And you know Nigeria, now, like I am saying, getting the bank account now, you must get BVN. Many people do not have this. And again, you must also present your NIMC card, NIM card, and getting the NIM number now. You also have to travel. In some cases, people are required to travel to their communities, get certificate of origin and whatever. So this process, these people going through this may be very difficult. You understand? So that's the problem. But if I'm the best, say I would say you redesign and you remain giving the currency with the highest pressure. And this is where I have issue. The currency for me, as far as I'm concerned, the denomination, the one with the highest pressure or with the highest rate of demand is the 100 Naira, which most times you see it is not. There are two things about acceptability of money. One is fitness. Money has to be fit, and then claim. This 100 Naira, majority of the notes in circulation in that denomination are not fit, are not even acceptable, are not clean. So this is where I was thinking the central bank should be looking at. You understand? But all of a sudden we are being told about counterfeiting and the rest. So they, like Doc said, they know what they are trying to achieve. To me, it is not bad to have a framework that says every 8 years or every 5 years money should be redesigned. But the problem is, why give Nigerians 46-day period? That's the problem.
Yeah, talking about the National Assembly, I've not read the Central Bank Act,
Yeah.
but I know that Central Bank has the authority to do this.
Yeah.
But my question is, money is going to be spent.
While you're still talking, I am also sure that this central bank is also established
by
an act.
of the National Assembly.
Yeah.
So my question is, money is going to be spent
Yes.
in redesign
Yeah.
and in maintaining this. Was it actually captured in 2022 budget? If it is not, that means it is an extra budgetary expenditure. And if you want to do an extra budgetary expenditure, you make recourse to the National Assembly. That is the much I know. Was this done? So I still believe that National Assembly has a lot of questions to ask. They need to know how much is it going to cost to redesign, because this is taxpayers' money that is going to be used, and they represent taxpayers. So they should ask questions of how much is going to be spent, where is it going to be sourced from, was there a transparency in the award of the contract, and all that. I will not be surprised that a few people will become rich overnight through this particular thing, and that is a Nigerian factor. So I also believe that we need a lot of sensitization. That is the much that needs to be done.
Yes, especially the kind of
Some people do not even know what is happening right now. Only a few lettered people understand what is being talked about. So people will even wait until a day or two to the expiration, that is 31st January. So even by 28th, some people may not even make a move. By 29th now, you see what is going to happen. So Central Bank of Nigeria should engage media houses, the National Orientation Agency, and schools, churches, different organizations should be brought in so that there will be enough sensitization. Let people understand actually what is happening, what is expected of them, to avoid the problems that will come at the end of the day. And to Nigerians, they need to be told that we should not always wait until the dying minute. When the federal government said go and obtain your BVN, some people waited until the last day.
And the last hour.
At the last hour, we saw what happened. The central bank announced go and register your
national identity,
and go and get national identity. People waited for months, for years, until the last day. Government said go and register your SIM card, your name, your number, that is a phone number. Some waited until the lines were blocked until they went. So let's begin early to sensitize people and push them to go and do the needful, so that they will avoid having problems at the end.
And I think also, if this program is well faced, we wouldn't even need pressure to issue new currencies. Do you know why? If somebody goes to the bank and pays his money, the bank will withhold. You understand? And if somebody goes to the bank to ask for money or to withdraw money, the bank pays the person withdrawal. It's something that can gradually be instituted. So the panic it is likely to create is what I'm afraid of. And then again, people may lose money. Remember when 2005 or 2007, it wasn't even up to 20 years we had the
that's
so I don't think it was the CBN governor was inappropriate. 2005 or 2007, when we had the the new 50 naira from paper to polling. I remember many people lost money. Do you know? Many people lost money, and these things, the same thing will also be done by the CBN. So they have to be careful. Yes, as for the National Assembly, there is no way that the Assembly will not have a level of control. But this is the monetary policy given to CBN too. I don't think the CBN needs to consider the National Assembly to design Naira notes, which it has been doing before. It has been minting. We have been seeing new mints, new minted bank notes. You understand? 100 naira denomination in 500 naira, 200. But the problem is, you are bringing new currency in circulation. The meaning is that there will be a design. It will take money to design it. There will also be minting too.
Monitor.
Yes, which will take money, because this thing will come as sheet. The new currency will come as sheet. If you know what I mean, they come as sheet. They don't just come as notes. They come as sheet. They now begin to divide and cut them into notes and all that, and then it will take time. You go begin to circulate them. So I wouldn't know.
Mr. Monitor, I don't want to be a messenger of doom here, but my question is, what are the regulatory frameworks over the newly change? How do we regulate POS operators? Don't be surprised that in the next 1 month, if people go to bank and they find a crowd, they will be POS. And at this time, POS operators will be charging highly. Don't be surprised that to deposit 5,000, they ask you to pay 500 naira, because you have no option. So what framework, what policy, what checks are on the ground to check all this, to make sure that the poor people will not continue to suffer?
All right, talking about information circulation and so on. You have the National Orientation Agency and so on. I think it is only here in Nigeria where such things will happen. Before now, even before the execution of this act, a lot of people are supposed to have been aware.
Yes,
that months or 2 months and so on. Yes. So I'm coming to you, comrade. So what do you think the National Orientation Agency, what are they doing? Even in the states and so on, there are a lot of government policies that you wake up one morning and see.
Begin to hear.
You hear
No
and see it happening, executed.
Yes.
Without a pre-information or information to the public.
I think that is where I largely subscribe to what Doc has said. Public policy making. It's a public policy, not individual policy. Public policy making goes with consultation, wider consultation. It shouldn't have been. See, if the CBN had done its assignment properly or very well, as should be, it shouldn't have let the cat out of the bag just a few days to the right day. There should have been notice served to that effect before now, which will be disseminated by National Agency to trickle down to the grassroots. And that's where we are having problem. Like I have said, during the time we redesigned the 15 naira from paper to polymer and even the 20 naira, many people lost money. Many people lost money, and the person or the entity that also bought that loss was the CBN. You understand? So to me, I think if you have a policy you are trying to implement, first thing is to make sure it is pro people and pro poor. From what Doc is saying now, you are taking us back to the rural area. In my own community, there is no bank. Yes, in Alai, where I come from, there is no bank. So if someone wants to, if our grandmothers, who mind you, the aged population, how many of them have bank accounts? There are also people who believe in contributory schemes, like the ones you call Akawo or Kisusu or that. So how will you tell the KK operator or the tricyclist who doesn't have a bank account to do this? And given the duration, so it is something that will likely create the panic. I think the CBN should go back and do the needful, so that there is much education, much enlightenment, much information about it, so that people can buy it. If you do it this way, I do not know. To me, I fear, one, people may lose money. Two, informal sectors will be affected critically. There are people who are not doing formal businesses, that are not being taxed, people who are selling pure water, people who are. So you begin to see that these are the ones who will suffer it. Like I have said, it is not every currency. It's not every currency that you begin to design. It has to be the one with more pressure on it, and the pressure means demand and one, and then again. The one with what? The issue of cleanliness and fitness.
Maybe talking about time, I don't want to preempt. I'm thinking of it from the other aspect. Could it be that there are people they want to take unawares?
I am.
Could it be that there are people, the federal government, because according to you, the order came straight from the presidency?
Yes.
Could it be that there are target people they want to cripple? Could it be there are people they want to render useless? Maybe those who have this money in billions of naira stashed in their water tanks.
Yes.
Stashed in their water tanks. Could it be that there are people who they want to catch? Because certainly you must bring out this money.
Yes.
Because if you don't bring it out, it becomes useless.
Yes.
So could it be that EFCC has been placed on red alert?
Issue the statement.
So yes, that's what I mean. Could it be the EFCC has been placed on red alert? There are people we are targeting. When these people come out, catch them. Even if they are caught, what happens thereafter? There are a lot of questions that are unanswered.
Let me show you anything.
Please do.
If we say we are actually fighting against the provisions, let's be specific here. I don't know the possibility of that. That's where I'm subscribing to what you're saying. Because most of the politicians are also bank owners. If they are not bank owners, they own the larger shares in these banks. So to get this money to execute campaign and fund election may not really be the problem. The people who may likely suffer are the people in the information.
I just hope it won't be counterproductive.
I hope so. I am saying it is the duty of the CBN to do this. But the time is where I'm having problems.
Let's give them the benefits of the doubt. After all, there's nothing we can do.
All right, there are only four major currencies that would. In fact, this is not about. They are not talking about releasing a new currency.
Yeah.
It's just the old ones.
Old ones. They are designing.
They are the design. That means it is new currencies. They are designing new ones.
They are designing the old one to make it new, maybe with a different outlook.
That means it is still new.
It's not another currency.
But no, we are not issuing new. We are not issuing new denomination. Maybe higher.
Yes.
What is that? 100 naira will not be what it used to be.
Yes. In terms of color,
design. So it is entirely new currency.
But you also understand that this is going on every time now. When Elizabeth died.
Yeah, we're having a new one.
Yes,
Now we have the face
there are
of it.
currencies that bear the head of the monarch. They have still had their own populace to go about the money. They will take their time to
Gradually withdraw
the money from circulation. That is what it should be. I have said here.
I think CBN has a plan
from paper to polymer, and they give it 6 months from March
Now,
to
before we
September.
look at the other issue we have today, now talking about the kidnappers, like they mentioned, the ransom they are paid, how is it going to affect the kidnappers? Because the bulk of the whole thing is on those who are paying the ransom, not the kidnappers.
This is just where I have a problem. The kidnapper collects this ransom today and spends it like a madman, waiting for who to kidnap again, and then the money will come in. So I do not see how this particular thing will control the issue of payment of ransom, because the ransom is being paid by the victim's family.
Yes.
And the victim's family would also want to pay with the fresh currency, because if you attempt to take the bad currency, the old currency to them, your person there in their den is gone, is dead.
They operate like a syndicate. So there is no person who goes out there in the streets on
I said I'm a kidnapper.
and you see so if someone wants you to a bank to deposit 10 million, will the bank start saying you are a
kidnapper? Where did you get the money from?
The bank will bet that such a person is a kidnapper. So I think saying they are using it to try.
My question is there any amount of money I will take to the bank now to deposit? And they ask me, Stanley, where did you get it from?
Even when they are lost.
Will that happen now? If it will happen, I will pray it happens.
Yeah.
But these politicians who could be there.
Don't have such ones.
Well, I think there could be a mechanism now.
There's a mechanism.
Instead of money you have, and you have to.
Yes, maybe that is what they want to do.
I think upwards of 5 million, 10 million.
Yeah, so you have to declare the source of the money.
You declare you have such money.
You have.
Yes.
Would you declare the source?
In the form you are filling.
You declare the source. Would that be investigated?
No. But I think the only time they do it is it depends on the account. If the account is a student account and maybe 1 million naira, 2 million is coming,
And the student comes with 10 million
now
naira.
need to question. Yeah. But to be honest with you, I don't know the possibility of a kidnapper who is an adult who has been doing business, walking into a bank and being interrogated, where he or she got him, where he or she got the money from. So I don't know the possibility of him to track because if you issue new currency. The kidnappers will also ask you to pay them
A new currency.
So,
A new currency. So that is the issue.
All right. So now let us finally look at the timing of this. We have between 15th of December. They said the thing is going to start on the 12th of December. Between 12th and 15th of December, the money would have been in our various banks. And so that is why people are advised to, begin to deposit their old, so that as soon as that time comes, they only go to bank to collect a new one without rush. Is this timing?
If you're asking me to go and deposit, with what currency will I be surviving until the new ones are released? You're asking people, please go and deposit,
yes.
so that when it is time, you are going to receive the new currencies. How would I survive if you ask me to go and deposit now? That is still where the issue of timing comes in. The timing and the duration is strong. Very, very wrong. I do not know whether there will be an extension, but for now, people are really going to suffer. The banks are going to be overstretched. POS operators will make people dry. Bureau de change will cause people a lot of harms. The same people we are trying to protect are the people that will suffer it. The common man there will bear the brunt of this particular policy.
Okay, Governor, considering who we are this part of the globe, and don't you think also that even outside the bank, irrespective of how many times you want to go to the bank or the bank, what about the common market person? The moment they hear this about new currency and you go with the old one, they may turn you down.
That's the thing. I talked about acceptability. One of the features or one of the qualities of money or the attributes of currency or any good thing is acceptability. So if your money is no longer accepted, mind you, the policy could actually make money not to be acceptable any longer. It happened, we should always learn to draw from past experiences. It happened in the time we transition from paper to polymer with some denominations. It is likely to happen again, you understand? Doc has said something beautiful and quite striking. When you say you are giving 45 or 46 day period for these things to happen, and we have a lot of people who are not schooled, who are not lettered, who don't have bank account yet. How are these persons going to be captured? I think it is only in Nigeria you see policies that may look beautiful but then unplanned. It happens seldom, and that's where I have issue. This thing shouldn't have been now. The policy should have been. It should have been maybe early or let me say early in the year. But now we are being served this, and it's coming so urgent that people
considering the time period.
Yes, considering that period when people will need money to begin to do what. Make some.
Do not be surprised that from 15th, some market women will be rejecting this currency. If you go to pay, women will say, no, this money has been phased out.
Yes, and at the time
it will happen.
At the time when family finances are contracted, are shrinking, at the time purchasing power is declining, we should be considering this thing. Although I have said, if it was well intended, it would have helped us address the problem of inflation because people hold money. Yes, even businesses, I have said it. Go to your home, go to there are people who don't even go to bank. They keep their money at safe or piggy bank or maybe any other instrument. You are talking, when you keep this money, you are not doing any service to Naira. You are making it to suffer inflation.
That is true.
Because the little ones in circulation will be fighting to buy goods at a price. So I think it's something we have to do.
All right, because of our time, before we go, let us look at this. The United Kingdom has warned its nationals to desist from traveling to the Federal Capital Territory, particularly Abuja, as a result of a possible terrorist attack. We know before now the U.S. had they've always warned and been saying something about this attack. And then the U.S., what does this mean for Nigerians, especially when the UK now they've joined their counterparts in the United States of America to warn their nationals?
Last week, I heard the Minister of Information, Alajimai Mohammed, dismiss the issue of security threats. In fact, he ended by blaming media houses for trying to escalate or push to the public unverified information, saying that the worst days are over for Nigeria in relation to the issue of insecurity. And just on Sunday, the US started issuing warnings and took it to the extent of evacuating their nationals. While we were still trying to grasp with that, UK has issued a warning to its citizens against moving freely in Abuja. And that worries me. If there is a place that should be safe, the safest place should be Abuja. We know what happened a few months ago when I think a particular guard was attacked in Abuja of all places. We also know that the president's advance team was attacked on their way to the president's hometown, and that Abuja was not safe. And after that, we were told that Abuja has become safe, only to wake up recently to hear that. I think there is something they know which we do not know. And then to show that these people already know what is happening, we are told that 35 ISWAP fighters, that is Islamic State of West African province, were arrested. 35 of them were arrested by the Nigerian Intelligence Agency, DSS, and other military organizations in Nigeria, which underscores the fact that there is actually a planned attack on Abuja. Well, what I can say is that it's going to be a shame to the nation if Abuja is attacked. If after all this noise making, if after all these warnings, and Abuja is also attacked. But I believe that the Nigerian security agencies are on top of the situation. Something in me tells me that it may not happen. But if it happens, it's going to be a shame to the government of Nigeria. So if these people could be evacuating their nationals, I wonder what will happen to our own people. Even some of our brothers in Abuja are apprehensive. Some say they will start coming back, but they never can tell what is going to happen any moment from now. But it is a worrisome situation.
All right, comrade, we're talking about this one. In fact, I think all over the world they are known how dangerous they are in terms of terrorism and so on. And then we learned that they were arrested in Abuja. Surely, after having heard that the Minister of Information had already told us that there's nothing.
The worst days are over.
The worst days are over. There's nothing like that happening. And these people are arrested by the joint team of the DSS, police, and other security. This National Intelligence Agency. Yes, they were. And then, what exactly is the commission, the Minister for Information telling Nigerians?
Well, the Minister of Information, we've always known him before now. Heretofore, we've known this man. And to me, that simply means politicization of national security. He was trying to politicize national security. When this is a minister I've seen who, instead of giving the nation information, in fact, he's interested in interparty rival, where he's responding to PDP or any other opposition party. Instead of
attacking the media.
Yes, or even attacking the media. Instead of serving credible information or conveying reasonable information to Nigerians. And he speaks to something that the minister prioritizes what I think serves his interest. That is this government. Every government has its weakness, its own challenge. Accept it, but improve on it. And that's where the problem is. You see, Nigeria and America share intelligence. And that is why I say Nigeria and America, they don't even have only diplomatic relations to the extent that they have embassy to embassy. They have consular relations, which allow America to have what you call defense attaché. Somebody who stays here, a military official of American origin who stays here and studies our security system and reports to America to take care of what investment coming from America, nationals coming from America, those who come here to make holiday, those who come here for tour, those who come here for anything. It could be research, you understand? And these are the persons they are directory, you understand, went to, not to Nigerians. They were admonishing, they were telling their own citizens, please, it is not safe to go to Nigeria, especially the FCT, based on intelligence. Remember the other day I did say there is a level of relationship between these two countries, a level of consular relations, diplomatic relations, that they have what you call BNC, by National Commission, which allows them to have personal talk as friends, you understand? Now, it is not bad that the United Kingdom, that they are saying this, and they said this before, they've said it before, and it's not the first time. So I think Lai Mohammed trying to blow it out of proportion or trying to add politics to it is what should be, what is on purpose for. Now look at it, from the optics, we are seeing diplomatic staff. In fact, these embassies now and then high commissions in Nigeria now have skeletal staff. They have removed their essential staff strength. Now leaving skeletal ones there just to make sure that. And then recently, in the aftermath of this whole intelligence alert, do you know that arrests have been made, even in places like Nube and then the one of a 95 Issuance member. Yes, in Naira. You should also be interested to know that why people are alerted or rattled or even afraid was because before the Kuje facility break, 44 intelligence reports were released to the appropriate authorities. They didn't move in, they didn't do anything. And I was asking the other day, has the commander-in-chief lost his command? That question just repeating. So if at all we are, and mind you, one of the reasons we voted for Buhari in 2015 was to tackle insecurity. And now it has worsened. It has worsened. So to me, I think the information America passed is for their citizens. Whether you want to learn from it or not, it's left for us. Remember, here in this country, an American was being captured by the 17th, the same issue or either and said in a twinkle of an eye. In fact, just lightning, America came in and rescued their citizens. So if they have this, mind you, we are talking about CIA, people who run CIA, FBI, they have more sophisticated intelligence network than Nigeria. And sometimes they even go as far as spying other countries, host countries. So they know better. And then we try to say we are on top of our game. It's fine to say that to reassure us, but security must be beefed. That's the government thing.
My question is,
finally,
please
take this before. I wanted to take this before we go. For us to have this alert, this intelligence alert from the U.S., when we have military men scattered all over Nigeria, and even a top person in the federal government even had to dismiss this alert. Are we safe?
I don't know how safe we are. My question is, are we going the way of Afghanistan? We have never been told the truth in this country for a very long time.
Yes.
And this is part of it.
Yeah.
I just pray, sir, that it won't happen. Forewarned is forearmed. We have been forewarned. It is going to be a shame if we allow Nigeria to go the way of Afghanistan. God forbid. Nigeria needs to be safe, but the government has failed in its primary responsibility, which is protection of its citizens. So they should wake up from their slumber.
All right, our wonderful viewers, thank you for being there. I am glad you're there watching Living TV. We'll be coming to the end of this program today, issues of the moment. Comrade Namdi Lepachi, thank you for being part of the program. Dr. Stanley Ndago, thank you for being part of the program.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. To our viewers there, thank you for being part of this show.
Remember, tomorrow, Saturday, we'll be having Nigeria Today, and also always remember to come around and inquire about your Living TV Club, where you will always make yourself happy, get yourself entertained, educated, and also informed about too many things. Remember, when a man is not informed, he's deformed, and deformity is not just a bodily harm, but mental bankruptcy. It's worse than HIV. On this note, this is your anchorman, Chinedu Madiele, signing off, asking you to keep watching Living TV.
We know everything that goes wrong because we are part of the government. Let's save Nigeria so Nigeria won't die. Which way Nigeria? Which way Nigeria? Tell me which way to go? Which way to go? I love my fatherland. Oh yeah. I want to know which way Nigeria is heading to. In a fish